Welcome to Jakarta. It might be the biggest city in the world now, but don't let that intimidate you, because in this video, I'm going to show you things you need to know before you get to this city and things you need to know once you land.
Okay, we are at the airport now. I'm a little early, but I'm going to go see if I can check in somewhere. Okay, let's talk about a few things you need to know before you fly into Indonesia. So let's talk about cash. It's always good to bring a little bit of cash with you. I exchanged some of my ringgit for rupiah while I was in Malaysia because it is a little smoother to do that here than it is once you land, and you'll obviously get better rates in the airport. You'll also be able to get cash at an ATM at the airport, and usually the fees aren't that bad. Now let's talk about getting to your hotel once you land. So the airport is quite far from the city center. There is a train that runs to the main station, but book a Grab car. There'll be a designated area at the airport that is just for Grab. It'll be very obvious, and then hop in your car and go to your destination. Grab is very affordable in Indonesia, so I just recommend this instead of having the headache of getting a train. Now, one last thing to talk about before we get on the plane that I always do is getting a eSIM. So I'm gonna buy an eSIM right now, just 1 gigabyte, so I can have data once I land. And then later today or even tomorrow, I'll worry about getting an actual SIM that is a lot cheaper than getting one at the airport. It's just peace of mind having data already once you land, because you're gonna need it for your booking, your Grab booking if you take that, or directions and everything. So just get a little bit of data before you land, and it makes your landing and your arrival so much nicer. Okay, I'm waiting for my Grab now. I just came out of there 10 steps and I was at the Grab desk right here. So my car is coming. It's 11 minutes away. This is the best way to get into the city because you can also take the train, but this car cost me 110,000 rupiah, which is like $8, and it's taken me 19 kilometers. So just not worth the hassle to take the train. Just take a car into the city, especially with the discount codes they give you for Grab. It is so much better. And now I'm gonna wait for my car and go straight to my place. First impression, it's a little bit hectic, more hectic than Malaysia. I've had a lot of people already approach me for taxi, but I know better. Get Grab, or they have Gojek too. That's a big company here as well. I want to get on the road as fast as I can because it is almost 4 o'clock right now. And that means it's close to rush hour, 5 o'clock, especially on a Friday. Oh, I don't even want to think of the traffic. All right, so we made it. My arrival was a success, but towards the end, the traffic was absolutely insane. I swear we spent like half of the ride in the last 2 kilometers because it was just packed with vehicles, but we made it and I checked in, I unpacked all my stuff, and I'm gonna go get a bite to eat now. Honestly, getting around Jakarta isn't hard. It's quite affordable too, especially with Grab, but it just depends on the time of day because it was just about 5 o'clock on a Friday. Everybody wants to go home. I'm here at the National Monument because I would say this is the center of the city. Now, Jakarta is absolutely massive. It sprawls in every single direction from this point, but it varies a lot depending on where you stay and how you choose to travel. This tower, the National Monument, is called the Monas Tower for short. It is 132 meters tall, and you can actually go up to the top and get a nice view of the city. This monument represents independence for Indonesia, and the flame that you can see on top is coated in real gold. The greater Jakarta metropolitan area has over 40 million people in it now. It is just an unbelievably massive city. So when people say this place is massive, they really are not exaggerating, because 40 million people is bigger than a lot of countries. And that is just one single city. If it's your first time in Jakarta, I would not try to overcomplicate your hotel or your Airbnb decision. It should be really simple where you should stay for the first time. If you want the easiest base with the best connectivity to other areas, I would recommend Tamrin, which is where I'm staying right now. That area feels the most practical to me because you're close to a lot of malls, transport, the MRT, and you don't have to go a long distance on a Grab to get to where you need to go. It's also the city's more modern side,
and it is a little more comfortable to stay for the first time compared to other parts of the city. If you want something a little calmer and not too far from Tamrin as well, Menteng is a really nice area to stay as well. It's more residential, it's more quiet, and it also has a lot of popular hostel options in backpacker areas. But if you're not looking for quiet and you want more personality and a little more nightlife and you enjoy that type of thing, then I recommend staying in Block M in that area. My recommendation is stay somewhere that makes your sleeping experience and your food experience that much more enjoyable, because with Jakarta, the tourist attractions are spread across the whole city. So it doesn't matter if you stay close to one attraction, there's still other places you can go to. So stay somewhere that is comfortable to sleep at over everything. So now that we've talked about where to stay, let's talk about cash, cards, and what you actually need to travel around Jakarta. Jakarta is one of those cities where apps matter as much as what you have in your wallet. Cards are useful and you can use your Visa or your MasterCard, no problem, but it's still very good to have some cash for when you leave the malls and you're out on the street at a market. You're gonna need cash to pay. The locals here, they use QR code payment, but most of the time foreigners cannot access that form of payment. It is quite easy to draw cash here. There's a lot of ATMs. Almost every convenience store has an ATM, and the convenience stores that you'll see here are Alpha Mart and Indomart. There's not many 7-Elevens. There is some family marts, but there are mainly just Indonesian specific convenience stores that are still really great, and I really enjoy them. But that is where you'll mostly get cash. So now that we've got the banking out of the way, your payment methods, let's talk about how to move around Jakarta without absolutely hating your life. So one word, grab. So the reason I say grab is because there is only one metro line here and a few train lines here. To get around, you're gonna need to take Grab, period. And it's honestly a really affordable place to use Grab, because my first Grab ride was from the airport, which is about 20 kilometers from my hotel, and it cost me about 100,000 rupiah, which was about 8 Canadian dollars or 5 US dollars. So that was in a vehicle. You can also get motorcycle Grabs here, which are really affordable. So like I mentioned, there is one MRT line that starts around Tamrin, like Grand Indonesia Mall, it starts around there, and that will take you straight down one line. So depending on where you stay, you can stay close to it, and it is nice to go up and down, but it won't take you all the way to the water in the north, where a lot of museums and attractions are based. Another option is the Trans-Jakarta bus line, similar to these. These work really well. If you have a bus stop near you, they are really easy to use. You pay for a ticket on a machine and you scan to get on, and they can get you around the city quite quickly. But when it's rush hour, there are cars everywhere. That is what one of the buses look like. They do have their own dedicated lanes, but depending on where you are, there will be just regular traffic taking those lanes when they're not supposed to. So it will be slowing you down, especially during rush hour. This just gives you a taste of the amount of traffic that we have here. It's about lunchtime right now, 12 o'clock, and I guess everyone's going for lunch right now. This is Tamrin, super modern part of the city. We're building skyscrapers left and right. Oh, wow, there's a lot of traffic. And I mentioned that there's only one MRT line. This construction that they have right here is to expand the MRT line north. But the thing with Jakarta is this city is sinking, so it is a lot of work to be able to dig everything out and reinforce it, to be able to put in this metro line. So here we go. Here we have our northernmost station on the MRT. That is the entrance to the MRT. And this is as far north as you can take it for now, and it goes really far south. So let's go down here and check it out actually. Let's go see what they're hiding down here. So this MRT was opened in 2019, so it's what, 7 years old now? Super new. It's probably one of the newer systems in Southeast Asia. But like I said, just one line for now. But so far it's already taken over 100 million people through, so this is what it looks like. We got the gate. Here we go. Here's a map of everything. So here's a map of the train line. This is where we're at right now. Oh, and this tells you the amount, so how much each station will cost, which is really cool. It's actually 1,000
extra per station, except for these two. But it goes all the way over here. Here is a 500-meter radius. I've seen this a lot in South Korea and Japan. They show you what's 500 meters from the station. It's really detailed. And then here is the transit map. So there's a lot of different lines. So the train lines, there's only one MRT right there, MRT Jakarta. And that is this line here. So this red line is all that it is. So that is all that they have for mass rapid transit in Jakarta. The commuter lines, which are the older trains that take a lot of passengers around the city. So I've never taken one of those, but they get super crazy, super hectic, and they take a lot of people in and out of the center of the city every single day. And then here we go, the buses, the BRT bus line. And there's a lot of lines. These can take you almost anywhere. And most of these lines on the map are for the BRT. So it is a crazy system, but for rapid transit, there's only one line so far. Oh, here we go. This is Block M I was telling you about. And then this is the airport where you land. So the airport is actually quite far, but there is a train that brings you all the way over here. And there are a couple stops along the way. But for me, to get a grab from the train all the way to, I'm staying close to here, staying close to this metro station, it was 100,000 rupiah, which is really affordable. So I'm gonna get out of here and continue walking. I'm gonna cross the road here and just stay in here as much as I can because the AC is really nice in here. A lot of areas to sit down. It's actually super nice. Like, obviously it's brand new, but they did a really good job keeping it clean. Heading out right now. It is super hot today. Like, you can see on my backpack, the sweat stain. Oh my gosh. The heat here is brutal, and it's rainy season. So it's rained every day I've been here. And one day it even rained like 24 hours straight. So just be wary of that. Now let's talk about some like rookie mistakes that people make the first time they come to Jakarta. So mistake number one is underestimating the scale of this city. Like, this city is so freaking massive. It is actually hard to grasp how big this city is. So you look at the map, it doesn't look that massive, but you got to understand that there is no city bigger than this in the world. This is the biggest city in the world. So it might look like this in one area, but it just keeps on expanding and it keeps on swallowing up other cities that surround it. If you look at the map, it honestly looks like Jakarta is extending halfway across the island of Java. It is that freaking huge. The next mistake a lot of people make is trying to do way too much in one day. You have to divide things up by sections of the city. So one day you can do the north by the water, next day you can do the National Monument area, but you gotta split it up because it is just too big and it takes too long to move around the city to be able to do everything in a few days. And the third one is just assuming that the traffic is a small inconvenience. So this traffic is the craziest I've ever seen in my life. When I landed at the airport, it was 4 p.m. by the time I booked my Grab, and by the time I got to my hotel, it was almost 6 p.m. because of the amount of traffic. And most of that time was spent in the last like 2 or 3 kilometers just trying to slowly move along the traffic. It is that crazy. So if you can do it, stick to the Grab bikes. But if you need to take a car, just be prepared to wait a while. Here we have a bus station. So the buses come here. That's where they pick up people. This is actually a really nice one. I'm sure they vary, but this is the nicest part of the city. So, or one of the nicer part of the city is downtown. So I'm guessing that's why it looks so nice. But they have their dedicated lanes and people are not riding in those lanes as of now, but I'm sure when it gets super busy, they are in those lanes too. This is a really nice roundabout. I know they have the Grand Indonesia just here and then Plaza Indonesia on the other side. This is like the most notable mall, the Grand Indonesia Mall. It has 2 sides, it's absolutely massive. And a lot of people come here to spend some time, so I think I'm gonna do the same.